What up, Kings fans? Just doing a quick post-match live stream. Good first win for the Sydney Kings. A good outing from us. A little bit rusty in the first half. Came back and got the win in the second half. As always, you can like, share, and subscribe all the way along the bottom. We've got a Patreon too if you really want to throw some dollars to help us do what we do, pay for some of our hosting and stuff like that, then go through and have a look at that. The link is on our page somewhere or other. I'll show you that at some other point. We're going to come live tomorrow with a podcast. Andy, I think he fell asleep. I was texting him, but he's disappeared. I think he might have fallen asleep. He's working hard all week. So we'll probably come back with a podcast tomorrow. Just doing a quick wrap-up and post-game. Not a bad game, Taipans. I think the Taipans put up a little bit more of a fight than we are used to seeing from the Taipans. They've got a new look outfit this season. They started quite well. They were quite they're quite athletic and long and strong. They had a lot of energy. They were working hard, really getting into a scrap with us. But I felt like as the game went on, we kind of rose above the scrappiness of the game, and then just our ability as a team, I think, shone through in the end. Deng, Newell, and Noi played well for the Taipans. Machado played quite well as well. I felt like as a team, we're further along and we're able to ride out the tough part in the third quarter and make it all the way to the end of the game and keep our rhythm going, whereas the Taipans kind of fell in a hole a little bit. They had that injury to Oliver that didn't help them, and then they had that unsportsmanlike near the end, which kind of sapped the momentum out of them. But I felt like we were always back in that game as long as we kind of sacked up on the defensive end. You know, we've got a lot better perimeter defensive players in this team. And then I felt like they didn't toss it into Jae'Sean enough in the post. He had 10 points, 5 of 9. He's always a menace. And when you throw Nate Jae'Sean at our team, we're obviously not a team who always brings hard doubles, brings crazy sequences. We're not a team who really goes hard in the paint to try and get physical with defenders. And a guy like Nate Jae'Sean, you're not going to get physical with. He's too big. So I'm surprised they didn't go to him. He came off the bench in this game. But yeah, no, an excellent win. So what did it end up? 79-71 in the end. We lacked a little bit of scoring, a little bit of punch in that middle section. I felt like even though Casper, I think he got man of the match, he ended up settling for jumpers a little bit too much. 3 of 13 from 3. I think he can turn a few of those into mid-range jumpers. Brad Newley didn't get enough sort of transition looks to the hoop. 0-4 from 3 again. The 3 ball, I think he's got to tuck that back in the pocket this season. He's got to come harder with the pump fake and drive. He didn't do that enough this game, but we're going to see this team gel a little bit more. Kevin Lisch, he was my man of the match. I thought he was absolutely scorching in the first half. He kind of kept us in it. Every time we needed a bucket, he gave us a bucket, which was good. Jae'Sean Tate, some genuine leadership. I think it's going to go underrated through this season, the leadership qualities that he has in this team. 5 fouls on him. I think Ware had the most with 7. Jae'Sean Tate second with 5. His free throw shooting's not great. We're going to have to just live with that. He was 2 of 5 on the night. The 2 that he did make were after the tech foul. I didn't watch it with sound. I was doing the live stream. I didn't have the sound on. Eventually, I'll get the sound run through so I can actually listen to it as I'm going. But I couldn't hear what was happening. And straight away, I just went, that's a tech foul, or that's a unsportsmanlike foul, at least elevated from just an offensive foul. So he went straight up the court, knocked down those 2 free throws. We then got the ball back. I think we shot a brick after that. But it was kind of that sequence that took the stuffing out of the Taipans. I think the Taipans realized at that point, after they made a couple of silly mistakes and that silly unsportsmanlike fouls, they were out of the game basically. And that's where, as a team, the Taipans obviously are further back building what they're trying to build. They're basically just started again gelling through a group of 12 guys that haven't come together at all. We're probably not as far in front of that in our build process, but we've got guys like Newley, Lisch, Bogut, and Daniel Kickett, who didn't play that well tonight. 0-4, didn't score a point. You got to have to worry about him. But I think more glue guys like Moller and Tate to supplement this team. Didi Louzada was out obviously tonight. It was a shame we didn't see him. Jordan Hunter didn't play any minutes, so 35 seconds. It's a shame we didn't see him either. But I think with Nate Jae'Sean in this team, you're not going to throw a young guy like Jordan Hunter straight into that game and say, yeah, good luck against 150 kilo Nate Jae'Sean. Have fun with that. Andrew Bogut didn't have the best of games, 4 points. I feel like he's going to have a slow sort of burn into the season. Still, he had 12 rebounds, 4 assists. I won't go too in-depth into the stats. I'm going to do a little bit of sort of advanced analytics on the game, watch it back again. Try and put together some numbers, see if we can get a little bit more advanced analytics going, see if we can try and get a movement of more advanced stuff going in our stat line. Try and start a movement with the NBL. We can't really get that much NBL advanced analytics. I was saying during the live stream that I did, there's no B-ball ref for the NBL, which is a shame because that's such a good tool for working out how teams play and what they can do. Shout out again to Kevin Lisch. He played well tonight. That was good. I've written down some notes here. Corey Homicide basically saying we're the real deal and we're the team to be. I'm not buying that yet. I don't think we're the real deal yet. I think we're a team that basically has a growth trajectory and it looks like it's going up at the moment, or it has the scope to go up. But I've got to see this team grow to really know that they're the real deal. I don't think we can just put money straight down on this team as a unit to be the real deal yet. We've seen some good cohesive play from the Phoenix. We're seeing some highlights here. They look like a super gelled unit. They played really well against us. They played really well against Melbourne last night. But our rebounding, again, was poor in the first half. Really, really good in the second half. But sometimes I'm watching this and thinking, these balls are just going everywhere off the rim. 3 guys are there all trying to get a rebound, but the ball just flies anywhere, which way. So I don't know if we're going to have to do some extracurricular work on our rebounding, sort of, whether that's roster-based, putting together different units who can rebound here and there. I'm really not 100% sure about how that's working. It just doesn't seem like it's an actual legitimate problem. It was obviously a legitimate problem last season, but it doesn't feel like it's, we're going to struggle with that. It feels more like we're just getting beaten by some weird bounces and stuff like that. So I'm not worried about that too much yet. I think there's some scope for us to clean that up. The good thing about this team is you can understand in Casper Ware's post-game interview, he basically said, I didn't play that well tonight. Yet he comes away with the MVP, the most, man of the match for tonight. From the broadcast, we're going to do a 3-2-1 tomorrow. We'll go through our 3-2-1. I didn't get the 3-2-1 stuff from Andy, but we'll go through that tomorrow on tomorrow's episode. We're going to do a 3-2-1 this year and give our MVP for the end of the season in a rating system. Shout out if you haven't seen our over-under prediction league and our win total prediction over-under league and our round-by-round predictions league. Go and have a look at that if you're into round-by-round predictions, tipping, like a tipping comp. We're starting some of that. I haven't seen any other tipping comps being mentioned. Maybe we can mix them together. But the over-under one is interesting. It's a win totals for the season, a prediction on win totals, and then at the end, it is a end-of-season total compared to last season's win total. Usually it's on the betting aspect where Vegas will give you odds on how many the teams will win, and then you'll give an over and under whether they'll win that many games. We've just gone on last season's wins total, so whether you can pick over and under on that. I don't think there's any much more to say about the game. Just a quick one tonight. Again, we're going to come live tomorrow with an in-depth pod. Andrew and I will be live at some point. We'll put a note out on Twitter so everyone will know when we can be live and they can tune in. But all in all, a really good performance, a good start to our season. Not the greatest performance. We still look a little bit rusty. There's plenty of room to grow as a team. But I think this team looks like they have the scope to grow as a unit. They look like they're hungry too. We've got a few hungry guys who really stood up big at the end of this game and came through at the end with some good hustle play, some good fighting basketball to end a game where, last year maybe we would have fallen in a hole and lost that game. So it was good to see the guys come through. What else do we have? Do we have anything else in my notes that I wrote down? Newly, not enough in transition. Sean Bruce, a couple of ice cold buckets off the bench. He only got a few minutes, but yeah, not too bad. So I think if we're going to go live tomorrow, I will leave it there. It's good to see some people commenting on the live stream. We appreciate that. And again, subscribe if I'm doing some tweeting now. I did a few tweets during the game tonight. Facebook, join the Facebook group, and then YouTube, whichever side, and then on Patreon. And as always, we will see you guys next time on the King's Dime.